The third step is lowering the bar. Okay? So right now in this moment, if you're fearful that you're going to relapse, if you can feel your sobriety slipping out of your fingers, the goal is to not just feel better. Okay? Your goal isn't to feel better right now. It's to not make things worse. So step 3, lower the bar. Your goal isn't to feel better. It's to not make things worse. Here's the thing, guys. When I feel like I'm going to relapse, a lot of times it can be this feeling like the world is coming crashing down around me. Okay? Now understand that addiction creates this sense of disconnection. So in those moments where I feel like I'm going to relapse and I feel like the world is coming crashing down on me, I'm trying to fucking push it away, right? It's much easier if I have other people helping me hold that shit up, if that makes sense. So a lot of times addiction creates that disconnection. In addiction, all I care about is getting what I'm trying to use. I don't have the capacity to really care adequately. I don't have the capacity to care adequately about other things, other people in my life, other things in my life, because the addiction comes first, right? Me drinking or using comes above everything else. So everything else is secondary. Okay. So what that means is in recovery, I'm rebuilding that connection to the rest of the world, right? I'm restructuring my values, right? I'm making other people in my life that care about me, I'm making them more important again. I'm putting them above the drinking or using. I'm putting my job maybe or finding work or whatever above drinking and using. So I'm trying to flip those priorities. It's just a natural consequence of addiction that drinking or using is going to become my number one priority. It's going to come before everything else. When I feel like I'm going to relapse, again, the goal isn't to feel better. It's to not make things worse, right? So you don't need to fix your whole life in that moment. You just need to get through the next few hours. If I feel like the world is crashing down around me, a lot of times I'm thinking of lots of different things, in my life, maybe regrets from the past, things I fucked up, legal issues, money issues, relationship issues, trust issues with other people. All that shit can be really overwhelming, again, because I don't have my one coping skill anymore, right? In addiction, the substance use was my one coping skill probably. And now I don't have that anymore. So how do I deal with all these fucking feelings? How do I deal with the reality of what happened during my addiction, right? The mistakes I made, the choices I made, the consequences of putting my substance use, my drinking or using all the way at the top, right? Now I'm dealing with that shit, and it can absolutely be overwhelming. So again, the trick is you're not going to make everything better right in this moment, right? But let's get through the next few hours, okay? Just don't drink or use for the next few hours, right? You hear, again, in 12-step recovery, one day at a time or just for today. This is why, because it can be so overwhelming to think about things in longer terms than just what's going on right now in this moment. You don't need to fix your life in this moment. You just need to get through the next few hours. If you can catch this moment, you can stop most relapses before they happen. And this is key. Once I do this a couple times, once I felt the world crashing down around me and I felt like sobriety was slipping through my fingers, I felt that intense craving, that intense desire to relapse, the intense desire to just say, fuck it. But I didn't relapse. I got through it. I talked to somebody about it. I was telling someone how I was feeling. I went outside, went and worked out, prayed, meditated, went to a recovery support meeting, whatever it was. Once I've done that a couple times, then I know hey, I can get through this, right? It strengthens my recovery. That is recovery. Like getting through those moments where I really want to fucking drink or use and I don't do it is recovery. That's the brain literally healing. So now I know I can do it. So it's going to make it easier for me to do it the next time. So again, if you can catch in that moment and do something about it, then you can stop most relapses before they happen. So it makes me think of when I was trying to get sober and I would go to a 12-step recovery meeting off and on in times where things were getting really bad. I actually got somebody's number in a meeting, which they tell you to do so you have that support. And so I remember I called him the day after I relapsed. And so it was so fucking awkward, but I called him just because I needed to talk to somebody. So even though I didn't know him, the guy seemed like legit, like he was practicing recovery. He seemed like a decent dude, right? So I called him and I was like, yeah, I relapsed last night. And he's like, well, tell me what happened, man. And I was like, well, one of my best friends who's also an alcoholic, he lives downstairs from me, literally in the apartment below me. Not a great setup for someone trying to be sober, right? And he came up with a bottle of vodka and, I didn't drink for a little bit and then eventually I gave in. He told me, he was like, well, dude, I'm not like scolding you or anything, but like next time if something like that happens, call me before you drink. And I was like, oh shit. It's literally like this kind of revelation of like, hey, you need to do something in the moment. Don't wait till after the relapse happens. I mean, you can learn from it, but when you do something in the moment, if you feel like you're going to drink or use and you do something to change the way that you're thinking, that's your best chance for not relapsing. So that was like a big revelation for me. It was like, oh, okay, I need to catch it in the moment. That's what's going to help me stay sober, not talking about it afterwards. Again, don't get me wrong. It's not that wasn't beneficial, but understanding that it's like, hey, this is a moment to moment. Recovery is a moment to moment process where when I'm feeling like I'm really struggling, I need to do something to change the way that I'm feeling. That's not drinking or using. Because, again, what I'm used to doing to change the way that I feel is drinking or using. So again, now I have to find something else. I need to find something else to change the way that I'm feeling and thinking. Exercise, prayer, meditation, talking to someone who's supportive of me. If you're dealing with this in your recovery and you want help navigating it, I work one-on-one with people on this exact pattern. There's a link in the description, so please let me know. Guys, I appreciate it. I hope this was helpful. Throw a comment down below. What patterns have you struggled with? What did you notice about your relapse patterns? Throw that down below. Appreciate it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.